making authentic Filipino dishes. I think it's going to go great. I just closed a deal with Fila Manila with Jake. He makes an incredible line of Filipino food. The ube sauce is really what got me over. It's just delicious. You can't stop eating it. And he also has a bunch of really cool sauces for making authentic Filipino dishes. I think it's going to do great. I just closed a deal with Fila Manila with Jake. He makes an incredible line of Filipino food. The ube sauce is really what got me over. It's just delicious. You can't stop eating it. And he also has a bunch of really cool sauces for making authentic Filipino dishes. I think it's going to do great.
We are thrilled tonight to chat with a Filipino-American entrepreneur who's revolutionizing the market for Philippine-made and inspired food product in the U.S. market. For a second, that I don't know where my mouth is. Almost like repossessed. Possessed. He recently appeared in a well-known business reality show called Shark Tank, where he received a substantial funding of $250,000. Now, that episode not only brought his brand the recognition that it rightfully deserves, and of course, that funding is nothing to be sneezing about, but he has set an amazing standard for Philippine-made and inspired brands that want to be in the U.S. market nationally. Welcome to Flexing Philippines, everyone, the show that creates awareness and sells opportunities for Philippine-made and inspired products in the U.S. market. Now, our focus is that we showcase individuals. We showcase individuals and brands who have done an amazing job in creating global quality brands or products, and along with that, the Philippine culture. This episode is called The Rise of the Top Philippine-Inspired Sauces in the USA. I have so many questions for this gentleman, but so little time. And I want to ask him questions that would be relevant to our audience. So we'll get right into that interview after we do a quick break.
Hi, my name is Ron, and this is Teofilo Coffee Company. Where we drink coffee black.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Flexing Philippines. All right, let's get started with the show, and then go ahead and bring this gentleman up, in front of us. Let me go ahead and give you a brief background. Now, Fila Manila is here to represent the next generation of Filipino-American flavors. They make award-winning Filipino food products like Filipino food adobo sauce, kare-kare peanut sauce, ube purple yam spread, and banana ketchup. His brand is bringing Philippine-made and inspired food products to the consciousness of mainstream USA. He's become definitely a celebrity in his own right, and truly a savvy entrepreneur. Please welcome, from the brand Fila Manila, the founder, Jake Deleon. Jake, how are you?
Hey, Ferdinand, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
I'm excited. All I'm going to say to you is kamusta and salamat for being in our Flexing Philippines.
Be careful. My Tagalog is not the best.
No, I know, right? I do have to bring that up. I was teasing you earlier when we were talking that actually I heard you say something to the Sharks on the show, and then I don't know if it just went over their head or maybe you weren't supposed to say it. I have no idea. But at the end of the day, I love the fact that you were trying to do that.
Yeah, I was telling you beforehand that my Tagalog is not that good. I was raised in New Jersey in the U.S., so I had to ask my mom about some advice on how to say it correctly. And I just realized my mom isn't that good with Tagalog either, because her first language is Kipapangan. But my mom didn't even know I was going to be on Shark Tank until 3 weeks before the airing. So she had no idea what I was preparing for at the time.
It doesn't matter. All I know is that you tried, right? And that, of course, just briefly, one word, because I know we don't have a lot of time, but I want to ask you a lot of questions. I prepared some questions for you. But if you had to describe being on Shark Tank, I don't know, can you do it in like 2 or 3 words or even one word, so that at least I ask that question? Because everybody there's probably going, that is so nerve-wracking. But if you had to describe it, what would it be, Jake?
Oh my gosh, I would say it's surreal and humbling. Surreal because I'm a big fan of the show. I've been watching it for years. So the fact that I'm on there and they allowed a Filipino food company to be on one of the largest TV shows in the US, it's incredible. And humbling because there were 30,000 applications, Ferdinand. And so choosing Fila Manila, making Filipino food out of 30,000, that is so humbling. I mean, I started the company with nothing. And the fact that I'm on that stage is just a very humbling experience.
Oh, that's to say the least. That's why I'm saying to you, the accomplishment is just so amazing of what you've done. And I mean, I'm going to go ahead now and sort of give you the spotlight. And I've already prepared some questions, so I'll go in and out of the screen. But I want this to be all about you. I mean, it's conversational, but at the same time, I want them to see what success is about in trying to promote Philippine-made products. Okay, Jake? So let's go ahead and get the focus on you. So the first question that I wanted to ask you was that, now that you've been on Shark Tank, reflecting on your journey, right, from conceptualizing your product to getting funded on Shark Tank, what were the biggest challenges you faced, and how did you overcome them? You could start with how you started, and then where are you now as far as promoting Philippine-made products, Jake?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't realize, but I started the company back in 2020 during the pandemic. And the inspiration came from a news article that talked in some areas of the US, 20% of the healthcare workforce fighting COVID were Filipino. And I know, Ferdinand, that's no surprise to us because we always joke, right? I think we have at least 7 cousins in every family who are Filipino that are nurses, you know what I mean? But for me, I come from the world of consumer packaged goods. I used to work for big companies like Procter and Gamble, and it inspired me to do more research about who we are as a community, a Filipino-American community. And it turns out that we are a big deal. In the US at the time, we're the second largest Asian American group, the largest Asian American group in 11 states, including California. Yet when you go to the grocery store, when you go to Target, Whole Foods, Publix, Walmart, Wegmans, Kroger, there's actually no Filipino food on the shelf, right? Which is kind of crazy to think about it because we're such a large part of the population. Filipino food is so popular, but the only place you could find it is kind of like the Asian grocery store. And, is this idea that I think it's about time that Filipino food and culture have its time in the spotlight is what inspired Fila Manila. So in true immigrant grit, because I was born in the Philippines, I'm an immigrant. I used my $1,200 stimulus check during the pandemic, and I bought some materials on Amazon, and I built the first prototype of Fila Manila from those materials. Mm-hmm. So I sold it into the stores during the summer of 2020, and then we launched in our first store, which is Whole Foods Market, in fall of 2020. And so from one store and then one product line of cooking sauces in fall of 2020 to today, you can find us in about 3,000 stores nationwide, with Whole Foods, Target, Kroger, with Meijer. And we have 3 award-winning product lines. We have cooking sauces, we have our condiments like banana ketchup, and we have our spreads like ube. Mm-hmm. And based on the data, we're the #1 Filipino-American food brand. And it just shows you there's an appetite for Filipino cuisine. And there's such an excitement to discover new flavors. And I'm just so proud that Fila Manila gets to do it in a very authentic way. And I'm authentic because, look, I'm a first-generation Filipino, right? I was born in Pampanga and I was raised in New Jersey. My parents, just like with most immigrant Filipino family, we went to the US with nothing. They worked 2 jobs, 3 jobs just to make ends meet. Mm-hmm. And then the fact that we can take that out of nothing into where we are today, it's just a very humbling experience, and just shows you the dedication, the perseverance of the Filipino spirit, right? We work hard, we're very proud of our food, and we love each other. And then it's about time that someone can bring that out into the market. In our case, represented by these amazing food products.
I was going to ask you, you said something earlier, and the thing that I'm very sensitive about is that we said earlier, what is Filipino food known for? Let's go back to that really quick. And how did you answer that with the way you came up with the packaging, the taste? let's go ahead and rediscuss that, because we were talking about that earlier before. So what does the general public, based on your research, the non-Filipinos, see Filipino food, and how are you going around it or trying to remedy that?
Yeah, so I think unfortunately there is kind of a stigma in the U.S. that Filipino food is not the highest quality, right? Maybe a little bit overly processed, a little bit unhealthy. And then you could see that, right? I mean, look at any of your imported Filipino brands, and there's usually some chemicals in there or some stuff that's actually banned in many states in the US, and some retailers refuse to sell those ingredients. It's not me being judging, it's just the reality. Like Whole Foods would never sell Mamacita. They would never sell Jufran just because the quality of ingredients. And so if you look at what is happening now in the US for what most consumers are looking for in terms of quality, that factored a lot into how we design the products. Of course, we want to be authentic, right? The recipes are actually based off my grandmother from my dad's side and my mother's side. But we do it in a very wholesome way. So we don't have to add any chemicals or things like that. We make it in the USA. And it just so happens our food is really native Filipino, like really the way that our grandparents cooked it before there were processed ingredients. And now that we can present it to the rest of the US, who are very mindful of these ingredient qualities and very mindful of these nutritions, it finally becomes an option for them to choose from and to enjoy. But one thing that we learned too, Ferdinand, is that how do people discover Filipino food?
Correct.
Through our research, actually, most of our people that buy the products from Fila Manila are not Filipino. 8 out of 10 are not Filipino. They're white, they're black, and they're Hispanic. And then when I ask them, how do you know about, why are you buying this? Like, how do you know about our stuff? And then they tell me, Jake, I'm not Filipino, but I used to have a coworker who's Filipino. I have a roommate who's Filipino. I have a girlfriend, boyfriend who's Filipino. And their family makes the most amazing food. Every time we have a potluck at the hospital, they bring adobo. Every time we go for ice cream, they bring me ube ice cream. And that's how they know. It's because our community, Ferdinand, our Filipino community, we love food, right? And then every time there's opportunity to show our love, we show our love through food. And then that's how people get to discover our cuisine, is because of us. There's 5.1 million Filipino Americans in the US. And that's how
I just want to interject that, because that's always been my theory. Because when I think of the number of Filipinos that are in the US, I always felt like, okay, there are brand ambassadors, right? Because as you can say, as you said earlier, we're just happy, we're trying to be happy people, we're community minded, we're always there. So it's almost like we're just so integrated into the marketplace that we sort of subconsciously threw our culture in there, and everybody is noticing it, like what you said. Yeah. But there's still somewhat of a, well, I'm going to say it for a lack of a better word, a problem. And how do we translate that where the non-Filipino community will get into buying this and make it more appealing, I guess, because obviously the food are being tried because it's coming from a friend of theirs, a relative or whatever, right? That they know, a coworker. But now how do we do that? How do we bring out the culture, the food and all that in that regards? Like the way you package it, I'm sure that has a lot to do with it also, the way you thought about that.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, if you look at some of the new brands that are really succeeding today in the market, they all have bright, modern packaging, of course, right? And it's something just to attract a lot of the younger buyers or the millennials. Also, I mean, like every group of a consumer has their own thing they're looking for. Yeah, for the younger folks, maybe it is the packaging, the branding, but maybe for the older folks, they're very conscious about their health.
Yeah,
so they look at the sodium, they look at the MSG, they look at that stuff. And then, with Fila Manila, we happen to do our branding and our products to meet all the requirements of these different groups of people.
I wanted to add on to that because I know that you do a lot of research, but I want the audience to know that your background, you've been in the business. That's got nothing to do, I feel, with the success of Fila Manila. It's just that I want the audience, especially like I told you, my audience is basically there's a lot of Philippine manufacturers that watch it, right? So I want them to know that you've been doing this for a while. You've done your research. This is not just something you learned 3 years ago. You've done your data. So kind of give them a little bit of a background of who you are and how that came about and how do you know a lot of these things.
Yeah, so I told you that starting from the beginning, I'm a first generation Filipino American immigrant, right? So my opening joke, Ferdinand, and usually all the white people laugh, is that means I was born in the Philippines and I was raised in the exotic land of New Jersey. That's always the opening joke.
Yeah.
But I think with most Filipino families, like food was always the center of the house, right?
Mhm.
And even my start in the food business was as early as a toddler. I would help my grandma and my mom make turon, Shanghai, pancit molo by hand. And then we
Mhm.
sell it to friends and family, $5, $5, $5. And so even that early age, I just remember food is equal to hard work and food is equal to love, right?
Correct.
But life is ironic because I end up working for big food companies as a career. So I had a successful career with companies like Procter and Gamble and
Correct.
Starbucks.
Hmm.
My job was to build billion-dollar food brands, right? And then so I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit. I'm an artist. I love to create. And then so I wanted to combine my love of food, my love to create, my love of business, and then to start a food company. And that's how I landed towards Fila Manila. And the founding story of Fila Manila came from what I shared with you during the pandemic. It's just kind of like a really great opportunity. And I think it's about time that our culture and our delicious food had its time in the spotlight.
Okay, so if I were to follow your thought process when you had that aha moment and you realize, wow, I keep going to these places, I don't see anything. What excited you other than the fact that so much population? And then did you were you excited to take on that challenge, knowing that there isn't any Filipino brand, or at least in that level where it's being sold at Whole Foods? I mean, did that excite you, or did you just go like it's like a big challenge to you because this is just ridiculous? I can't believe that there isn't one.
Yeah, it was both. So I was definitely like shocked to think, even because I would never have thought, like just never. I mean, I grew up Filipino. Every weekend we had Filipino food at my cousin's house as a party. Every
Mhm.
night my parents make Filipino food, but it just never occurred to me to have Filipino food available for everyone, right? And
Mhm.
so once I came upon that discovery or that idea, it really became I became obsessed with it. It's like, oh my god, it's just weird how nobody else has ever introduced it in the U.S. and perhaps this is the right time, and perhaps I have experience, and then I'm Filipino. Maybe I'm the right person to do it. And so it was definitely very scary, but I get very excited too because I like the challenge. And for me, it's more than just making money, but again, it's about putting our culture in the spotlight, right? So no longer are we just kind of like Filipino idea of work hard, keep your head down, don't make any noise, and just stay in the background, right? That's what our parents say, right? Don't make any noise, stay in the background, make a good salary, just do your thing.
Well,
But
you, you
then,
you definitely didn't do that by being on Shark Tank, Jake. Come on, for
but what
you
I
to
mean,
have, as they say, I can't say, even though I know this is like it's not like we have a huge audience, but as they say, big cojones or something, to be able to go on Shark Tank, face all those sharks. I'm not even just talking about just four people. We're talking about very successful people. You have gone against the grain, obviously.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, that's what I mean, though. It's like, our people are so talented. Like, we're in
Mhm.
every part of society, business, media, literature, and finance. We should be proud of who we are. We don't
Yeah.
have to say that we're just Asian, that we're Filipino. We have a very distinct culture, a very distinct cuisine. And I think it's about time that, we have our time in the spotlight here in the US.
I would just rather think that with what I'm personally doing, and then I discussed this with you yesterday, or was it the other day, that my thing is about create global quality products, and then let's take the culture. Because at the end of the day, I personally don't promote products that just because they're Filipino. I promote things that I feel that are of good quality and have the potential for that. And I'm thinking that's what, when you and I were talking earlier, that's what you're all about too, because I know that you had other ventures also before Fila Manila, and you were all about trying to bring something valuable to the marketplace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's the whole idea is how do you bring value to the marketplace? How do you solve a problem that's in the market? In the case of Philip Manila, the big problem was the lack of representation, right? I mean, that's not only a problem for the consumer, but a problem for our culture. And I think it's just like a huge problem that about time that someone can try to tackle it.
Well, I definitely feel like you've opened up a lot of doors, and I'm going to ask maybe a couple of more questions, but I know that you have to leave us soon. But my my thought right now is how can I ask you to go ahead and provide some advice to Philippine manufacturers, people that definitely want to be here and aspire to, because they're so proud of their products. But I realize that, like you said, they have to consider certain things in terms of the way they package it. But if you had to give a advice to a Philippine manufacturer that really believes in their product, what would you say, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, my the advice I would give, and it's a great question, is to think about how to sell your product to someone who is not Filipino. Because I think a lot of Philippine manufacturers, they just think, maybe they think, okay, this will just probably end up in the store of Asian grocery store, maybe Seafood City, maybe something like that, or H Mart. But think about it as like, how will this look like if it's on the shelf of Target, or on the shelf of Kroger, or on the shelf of Publix or Wegmans, right? And if you think about it that way, the way you communicate the product on the packaging, the way you price it will be very different. So it really depends on what the Philippine manufacturer is targeting. If they really want to sell only to Asians and Filipinos, then by all means, like, you do it that way. But if you want to sell to a broader audience, think about who that audience is and think about what that audience cares about. What they're familiar with.
Mhm. I really believe that with what you created, you could actually, you created a blueprint. The product itself, I will let my surprise guest go ahead and ask you some question and let her tell you about her experience with your product. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring on a friend of mine. What she does is she helps a lot of companies in the Philippines who want to become FDA approved here in the U.S. And obviously that's a big deal. So I guess for a lack of a word, she was excited to be here because she went out and bought your products and she wanted to just sort of meet you and say hello to you. Her name is May Cruz, and she has been an awesome supporter of what I've been doing. And she has a company called Global Business Impact, but she just went out and bought your product the other day from Amazon, I think. So here she is. Her name is May Cruz. Okay, Jake.
Oh wow! Hi May, thank you so much for your business.
Well, you're turning invisible there. So she bought your Shark Tank pack. I guess that's what that is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So May, can you go ahead and if you have a quick question with Jake, I promised that I would let him go and maybe in about 5 or 7 minutes because he's got a really important call that he's got to take. But go ahead and ask your question, May. May, I don't know what it is that I can't hear you. You on? You're not muted.
Maybe
You good?
maybe she's on mute.
There. Unmute yourself, May. While she's trying to figure out, I'm showing the products, the what do you call it, the website, Jake. If you had to tell somebody what is the best product you currently have, May, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear
Okay,
me now?
there you
Okay.
go. All right.
I removed the speakers. I guess the speaker's not working. Anyways, hello Jake.
Hi May, thank you for your business.
Oh yes, thank you. I bought this actually on your website, Fila
Oh
Manila.
yeah.
Yeah, and I've been following you since I saw you on Shark Tank. And
Yeah.
yeah, when Ferdinand told me that you're his guest, well, I told him I gotta buy the Shark Tank pack. Yeah, just one quick question. Can I use the ube sauce on ice cream? Like ube ice cream? Like I want to do an ube overload. Can I
Oh
do that?
yeah, of course. So you could use the ube. The ube is just like it's like ube halaya, right? You just put it, but we put it in a pouch. It's easy to squeeze out. So you could put it on ice cream as a topping, or you put it like on halo halo as a topping too. It's just easy.
Wow.
It comes out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. And later our dinner, I already prepared the chicken, and I'll use the adobo. Maybe I'll do a live for this
Yeah,
and
we should.
show that I'm using your adobo on the
It's like an
chicken.
after show party. We're supplement it with going
No,
on
Yeah.
the
I'll give you
product.
I'll give you a quick tip. Try cooking you put the adobo sauce and the chicken in an instant pot, and then when
Oh.
you do the pressure cooker, like for
Okay.
maybe only like 6 or 7 minutes. The chicken
Oh.
becomes so tender and then absorbs all the sauce. It's really easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or can I use it for like if we have leftover, lechong manok,
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
roasted chicken,
it's
and then
delicious. Yeah,
yeah, I'll put the adobo sauce.
yeah.
That would be good. Yeah, I'll try that.
Well, even you can grill with it too. You marinate some pork chop in the adobo and just grill, and then while it's grilling, you put some of the sauce on top. It makes it
Oh
look nicer.
wow.
It's really good.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
delicious. Yeah.
Thanks, May. No, I was
Thanks.
going to say that
Thanks, Jake.
we're gonna go ahead, and after you leave, Jake, we're gonna talk a little bit more about the products that she bought and show the website a little bit more. But I know that you got to get going. But I also want to go ahead and make sure that I do ask you the one question. I want you to sort of leave us with this. Now, moving forward, what are the challenges, or what's up for Fila Manila? How are we going to know more about Fila Manila? What's your game plan, so to speak, and how maybe the people that are watching, maybe the manufacturers or the community can try to help you? What is basically that? What is your plan?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to continue to grow and expand into more stores and also online. And that expansion for us means how do we introduce more Filipino food products into the market? Yeah. So, right now we have our adobo sauce, our ube, and our banana ketchup, but maybe we can introduce things like mango or maybe even sinigang, right? So we're always looking for suppliers to partner with who can provide us really good Philippine source products for us to bring into the US. And also, we're also looking to expand our team. We really support Filipino businesses ourselves. We work with a lot of Filipino agencies, artists, and even like a supply chain person is Filipino. So now as you grow, we're looking to, I know I'm not allowed to say that we're only going to hire Filipino, but we want to really support the community in all areas of our growth.
May, I think he's talking to us, May.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
No, but I just joke, but to a certain degree, I'm serious, only because those are the things that I wanted to present to you later on about sourcing the ingredients, because there's so many amazing ingredients and I can get my hands on all of them. Okay, so we can talk about that later. But May, I'm glad that you joined us. Let me see. Let me go ahead and make sure. I'm glad you joined us, May, because here's what I want to do. I'm going to end the show with our happy dance. Okay. So are you ready, Jake?
Yeah, ready.
All right, so let's go ahead and put on the happy dance music, and then we can send Jake off like that.
Okay.
Here you go, Jake. All right, there you go. There you go. Yeah. There you go. All right, Jake. Hey, Jake, thank you so much for that. I appreciate you being here, and good luck to you. And like I said, hopefully we get to talk again and see how we can help you with the product, because obviously, like I was telling you earlier, it's a big market. It's not just Filipinos. It's just that the Filipino community is huge in itself. But all these people that I see as part of being the Filipino market are your brand ambassadors, my friend.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you, May, too. It's great to talk to you, and thank you for the
Thank
feedback.
you.
And
Right.
I hope we can talk again soon, and maybe we can partner together with with you or the ones who are watching your show.
All right.
Yes.
All right. With that being said, take care, Jake, and then May and I will be, sticking around, talking a little bit more about your product, especially on the website, so we can tell people to go ahead and order your product, my friend. So anyway, with that being said, have a good night. I know you're in New Jersey, and it's getting late there, so I'll let you go. Bye, Jake.
Thank you so much. Take care.
All right, so that was cool. We got to get Jake to do the happy dance, right, May?
Yes. Yes.
All right, so why don't we reset, and you and I get to talk for a little bit longer, for another maybe 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick break, and then we'll come back and talk about the website, because there's a lot of products in there that are actually cool, and maybe you can even guide us because you already been through there. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so let's go and take a quick little break and then show some of our supporters. And we are back. Welcome back, everyone, to Flexing Philippines, where our objective here is to showcase Philippine, individuals who are making global quality products, and they just happen to be bringing the Philippine culture with them. Also, as I said to you in the show, it's all about quality. I'm just happy that it's also the culture. And we just had Jake Deleon of the brand Fila Manila on the show. He couldn't, before the show, he told me that he couldn't stay too long, but wanted to make sure that he tried to reach out to the audience and to our audience and talk a little bit about his product. I wanted him to be here not just to talk about his product and how amazing it is and the success he's having, but I wanted it to be a practical show where he can provide some advice about the product. I mean, about how to make it in the US market. And he's doing really well. I'm sure he will tell you all day long that he still has some challenges, right? Just like any business. Just because he appeared on Shark Tank, he's on easy street. He has his own challenges. But with what he's accomplished so far with introducing a Philippine made or inspired brand, he's amazing already. So today, I for the rest of the show, I get to talk to a good friend of mine. Her name is May Cruz of Global Business Impact. I brought her on because she brought the products from Fila Manila, and she loves it. She just asked Jake how to use the ube product that he has, the ube spread. And so I'm going to bring her on now and introduce you to her. So go, May, are you there? Okay, you took out the speaker again. I don't know what's happening. So while she's trying to figure out the last time, we're going to show you the website. So if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about Fila Manila, I wanted May to go over the website with us so that you can go ahead and support Jake when it comes to the brand. I like I like the brand. I'll be honest with you. I really like the brand because um, our one thing I admire about it, and I'm looking at it from a marketing standpoint, is that I'm looking at the color of the product, the packaging altogether. It's fun, it's lively, it's very light, universal. And if you look at some of his products, also, it also is easy to use, from the pouches to the weight of it, from shipping it, all of those things are he's hitting all of the check boxes or the boxes for me in what I would consider great packaging and also use and also the price point. So don't take my word for it, check it out. I mean, the website, I'm going to show you again once I am able to get May on the line. So let me see. May, are you there? May, are you there? No, I guess May's having a little bit of a problem. I don't know why. Why she's still on there. I mean, why she's having a little problem with it. Okay. All right. So while she's trying to figure that out, I'm going to continue talking to you about the website. So this is the website for Fila Manila. Let me see. All right. So as you can see from the screen that I'm showing you, he has a Shark Tank pack where he's put together a special pack that pays homage to, so to speak, to Shark Tank. He's got adobo marinade sauce. Okay, from the screen that you're seeing there, adobo marinade sauce, ube purple yam and coconut, Isla pineapple rum sauce, kare kare peanut sauce, and also, well, the banana ketchup. I personally have never seen banana ketchup packaged like that, right? And I think it's in a plastic bottle and a squeeze stop, just like Heinz ketchup, and it's easy to use. Well, let me see if I can check on May again. May, are you still there or no?
Am I on?
There you go.
Can
Yes,
you hear me
May.
now?
Yeah, your watch. Yes, I can definitely hear you now. Okay, so I'm trying to go
No,
ahead
I
and
can't
tell.
hear you. You can
Um,
hear me, but I can't hear you.
yes, I can. I can hear you really well. So can you hear me? Okay, I don't know why now I can't hear you again. All right, May. Anyway, so what I'm gonna just do until May figures that out is to go
What's
on with the
wrong
show,
with
so to speak.
my
There you go.
camera?
May, can you hear me? May. May? Okay, she's still having a little bit of problem. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. May we'll figure that out. I always love these technical difficulties. So that's why I've been doing this for a while, that I just learned to laugh about it, only because it does happen, and certain things just you just can't control. So anyway, moving on. I'm excited about Fila Manila, and the reason why, it's not only I want to root for a Filipino. I don't definitely not want to have that mentality where jealousy or anything like that. That sometimes, you know what I'm talking about. Everyone that could do that. So I want the Filipino community to sort of embrace the Phila Manila, not because he's paying me or he was just on my show. I just think from a perspective of educating the Philippine manufacturers, you can learn a lot from it. It's not perfect. I'm just trying to bring out the good side of what he's done, only because it's a lot. So when you look at his packaging, um, colors and all of that, to each his own. At the end of the day, right? But what I'm trying to get at is the one thing that pops up in my head when you think about these products. He said us on his website, it's the next generation. Now, the next generation of Filipino consumers, people, as you know, if you're a Filipino, there's different types of Filipino people that are in the U.S. who have just recently immigrated here, and people who have been here, just like me, who are rediscovering their culture. Those are different segments in the Filipino community. But what I think Jake is really um, embracing is, how do you sell the products, or how do we take our culture to that next level of notoriety? Okay, where it can be accepted, because you're trying to really, at the end of the day, you have a business because you want to make money, and you want to go ahead and bring along the culture, but you're trying to put global quality products. And what I mean by global quality products is, there's a fine line of maybe overly, diluting something and making it for the masses. But I feel like I want Jake's product, me personally, I want Jake's product to be sort of like the entry point for a lot of non-Filipinos to discover Philippine products or Philippine food. Okay. Because to me, some people may not be able to take the spiciness or the taste of certain Filipino food, right? But for those who may not know it, and they want a certain standard of maybe packaging or the taste or whatever, it's a great way to bring it to the consciousness. I'm already seeing that if you tried one of the kare kare sauce, or the adobo sauce, you're probably going to be amazed with it. But some people, I already know, I can already hear it. Well, it's not authentic, blah blah blah, right? But it's not.
There.
You can't see it. Oh, May, you there? Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So let me just finish my thought, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring that information back to you as far as the website. I don't know why we're getting a feedback. Are you getting the feedback on your side?
No.
Okay.
Is that an echo? You're hearing?
So, okay. So what I'm just trying to basically say, and my point, everyone, is that I feel like there's always varying taste. So to me, what we should look at, what Jake has accomplished, is just brought, especially going on Shark Tank. I don't know if you know, if the people, like, that's Shark Tank, right? He was on this show, and it's a business reality show. And maybe a lot of you already know it. Don't get me wrong. Maybe you do, and maybe you don't. So it took, can you imagine, he was in front of four successful business people, and he was able to make a presentation about the Filipino culture. Some of these people, some of the sharks don't. I've never even heard of that, right? If you look at one of the interviews or quotes, one of the sharks, I think it was in the ladies, she didn't even know what Filipino food is. What is Filipino food,
Yeah,
right? That's
Lori.
Lori. She said that
Mm.
she doesn't know what Filipino food is. I mean, there's no sort of identification. And that's why if you read Jake's story and things of that nature, and the quotes that he got from the beginning of the show, he's accomplished a lot. And so I'm all about trying to create support for people who have gone beyond a certain boundary of what as Filipinos can do, whether it be in products like this, art, entertainment, basket, sports, whatever. So because if you're all about trying to promote the culture, this is it. You do this. Tag along, right? Introduce maybe later on the authenticity. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes I laugh when every time I go to a Chinese restaurant, right? A successful Chinese restaurant, like I'm not going to name names, but I go, I don't think that's authentic Chinese to a certain degree, right? But they're catering to a certain, group. But sometimes I say that only just to make an example, but I really don't want to lean into that type of thinking. I'm all about just saying, hey, look at that guy. He brought our culture to the mainstream. He's doing an amazing job. Let's bring it. So when I'm talking to a Philippine manufacturers right now who are thinking about bringing their products into the US market, it wouldn't hurt to look at his playbook when you're thinking about that, because if you are thinking about becoming an exporter to the US, you kind of want to just listen to someone who's actually done it. And it's not in a no knock on Island Pacific or Seafood City. I love him. I go there, but he's got it into Whole Foods, Kroger's, mainstream stores. So I'm assuming he knows a little bit of something. So that's the only reason why I wanted him to just sort of expand on that. I wish he could have stayed longer so that it could become like a sort of sort of a seminar or something. But let me see if I can get May back on. Hey, May, are you there?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
I'm here.
fantastic. All right.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk about the website? Let me bring it up again.
Yeah. And maybe the Shark Tank pack, because
Mhm.
this is really amazing. The presentation is really very good.
What's in the Shark Tank pack?
So you receive this box, this beautifully designed box, and then inside when you open it, it has two postcards. The first one, and the inside is like this. Oh,
Well, you
not
disappeared.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah, it's disappeared. The green
because of
screen. Let me
the
see. Let me see if
maybe
I can bring
remove
it up.
my yeah, maybe remove the, or did you, I sent you a photo of
Mhm.
the box, the inside of the box, or
Yeah, if
maybe I can remove the background maybe.
if you look at what I'm showing on the screen, he puts a picture of himself with his
Then
family,
hey here.
and it says "Love from the Philippines." So
So
honestly, my style, if I were to come up and sort of discuss that with the Philippine manufacturers, how I think you should promote your product, Jake did it.
yeah, and then it comes with a poster with again the picture of his family and the thank you note at the back of the picture, addressed of course to the one who bought it, and then there's a QR code that they can scan. But oh, let me see. There you go. um I guess that's to order or maybe recipes. And then the other postcard is about recipes that they can also try with
Mhm.
what's in the pack. What's in the pack, since it's a Shark Tank pack, so this is what he showed on Shark Tank: the adobo sauce, and then the kare kare sauce, and the ketchup, the banana ketchup, and the ube spread or ube sauce. So That's what's inside the Shark Tank pack. Yeah. So um I guess that's how he presented this, and it's really good. And the price, you want to know the price?
Yeah, please let us know what the price
It's
is.
$39 for the box, and plus shipping. So total with shipping, I guess the shipping depends on where you're at. So I paid like $46 for the whole box with
In today's
shipping already.
prices here in the US, that's a
Yes.
deal.
Yeah. Yes.
You see, that's
And
what I'm
it
saying
comes in
again.
this box.
Just for full disclosure, Jake didn't pay us or May.
Mm,
I'm looking at this more so from a demonstration,
mhm,
educational perspective. He's telling a story. The packaging is great. He's becoming personal about it. The price is good, right? It's competitive. I mean, I haven't really technically compared it, but
mhm.
these days everybody's so sensitive about the price, but you almost have like a mental math and you realize that's pretty good, right?
Mm,
Especially when you're thinking about Philippine made products.
mm,
The difference is also is that he may be able to offer all these products because obviously he makes them here.
mhm.
So if you're going to come from the Philippines and bring the products here, you definitely need to show more value because you've got a guy here that's doing these type of products and still maintaining the price point. But you don't use that as a comparison because there's no way you're going to be able to match that. So I think what the way you would match it or bring on some unique product from the Philippines is take some pointers from the way he's presenting it, right, May?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. The presentation is what you're actually paying for. And the taste of it is the bonus already.
Yeah.
Of course.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest. I know to a certain degree, May. I know that there are going to be. I'm already going to get to it. There's going to be Filipinos who you're going to agree with me, right? That they're going to say, "Oh, it's not authentic," right? I'm already anticipating that. I don't know. What do you think, May?
Uh I guess it's based on different perspectives. So where
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so but he already is far from what others are doing,
Correct.
being on Shark Tank and being on all those big box stores,
Mm-hmm.
like I think he's already in Walmart, right?
I think
Also,
so
I think I saw his products in Walmart,
because see
and the other big
between you
box
and me,
stores.
May,
Mhm.
we talked about Island Pacific in Seafood City. And I told them that there are people there that I know, and you can get the products in there. But it's not like he was overly excited, at least in my opinion. I feel like he needs to explore that more, only because he's probably going to do a lot more um, research to see. Because in the beginning of the show, you didn't hear it. He said that most of the people that buy his products, 8 out of 10 are not Filipino that are buying it. And the reason why they're buying it, he asked them, was because those people that bought it, they knew a Filipino. That's why they bought it. So in my mind, the way I was thinking about that is that the Filipino community, as Filipino, we're so integrated into the community that we become brand ambassadors, right, of the culture when just talking about it. But people, I feel like I told Jake that people are buying that because their friend told them, and they love the Filipino, their friend, their culture, the way they treat each other, right? And I think that I'm very proud to be able to say I'm Filipino in that regards. But they tried it because their friend told them. And sometimes I wonder though, you know, we need to support that more, because that is the kind of product that I feel like, again, we can move forward with it and use it as sort of a, for lack of a better word, a test case. May, I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, well, we can do that. And besides, it's like not everybody is aware of it. We need to do like an awareness that there's Fila Manila, there's that brand. I don't think a lot of people already know about uh Fila Manila being on Shark Tank. It's
Mhm.
That's why not a lot of Filipinos buy his products.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
and the thing that I like about him is that he's very creative. Here's some of the things that I don't know if you can see it on the screen. It's showing across there. It says dairy free, gluten
Mm,
free,
I can see it.
no
Yeah.
no MSG,
No
right?
added sugar or MSG. No yeah. No fake colors or flavors.
Hmm.
Like the banana ketchup. It's not red. So
Yeah.
because it's banana, so he kept the color to be yellow.
Hmm.
But the sharks commented that it tastes really good. I haven't tried the ketchup yet because I don't wanna I, I don't wanna try it, but I'll try it later. Maybe
I'm actually
when
gonna go. I'm actually gonna go buy and get this only because, like I said, he not only from the packaging, the taste, but he's also very conscious of possibly the Filipinos who love the food but are becoming a little bit more health conscious
mm,
and using certain ingredients, right? So I think he's trying to set it up so that he's really trying to meet that type of um, thought process, where I want everybody to buy it because it's flavorful, it's healthy, it's easy to use, and priced right at the end of the day, right? Instead of just focusing on the word authentic, so to speak. Okay, because that's what I love. That's what I get excited when I think about what he's done. So I'm always going to take it like that, where I'm always going to advise and say, if a Philippine manufacturers, what is it going to take to have a product in the Philippines, I mean the US, then I'm just going to go ahead and tell him, go check out Fila Manila. Right,
yes.
May?
Yes, definitely.
So
Yeah.
let's see what other products. He has kare kare.
Yeah, that's the kare kare sauce.
Hmm.
Um
And then he has the ube. It's like
yeah,
araya.
I'll try this later also with the ice cream.
Hmm. And then the banana ketchup. We're all familiar as Filipinos, the Jufran, in that bottle. He's got this thing in a plastic. It's plastic, right? The banana ketchup, the plastic bottle, May.
Yes, it's in plastic.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
look at the top. It's a squeeze bottle.
Yeah, it's a squeeze bottle.
If I think that if I was in college and I wanted to make something simple, I just put on the sauce and you're good to go, right? And you still get to do all that. And it looks all amazing. They did a good job with the pictures, the seasoning, the sauce. And the website, they actually talk about Filipino style spaghetti sauce. Oh, that's funny. Filipino chicken adobo, kare kare Filipino peanutty wings. I mean, he's basically, yeah. Um, I love it. I love, and then the price is right there. The ubi purple yam and coconut spread is $12 for one pack. For the rum sauce is 15. The peanut sauce is 9.50. Again, when you're looking at prices, you have to look at the ingredients that he's using. If somebody's going to charge me X amount of dollars, I'm looking at the ingredients. I don't know about you, May. Yeah. See, So I'm looking at the prices. You better make sure that that product. So in this website, um, it is currently featured in Whole Foods, as he said, Target, a place called Stop and Shop, Fresh Time Market, Mayher, Mom's Organic Market, and he's got it on We if you want to buy it. So again, everything that I'm looking at when it comes to J stuff, I'm just trying to pass it along to the people that have entrusted Emporium to provide them with sort of a guidance. And I've always told everybody that I've spoken to that Emporium is not promising you anything, but what we are promising you is to give you good information so that when you decide to export your products into the US market, you get to work with people like May, who cares about the country from the perspective of that it wants to help it and see if we can bring more of the Filipino brand here that are that are deserving of to be here because they do make great products, but they still need some market research. And hopefully, what you're seeing today, right now, with what May and I are doing, is that. And by the way, if you're watching right now, if you have some comments about the product and have any questions, please feel free to do that in the next last 5 minutes. But with that being said, May, do you have anything that you want to add on to that?
Yeah. Maybe I saw the product at Target. That's where I saw the product, not Walmart,
Mm.
because it's not on the list yet. But yeah, it's a very good start for a Filipino brand to go the mainstream route. So yeah, and he's already successful with getting it in those big box stores. So, but we should have it at Seafood City and the
Yep.
other Asian stores, not only Seafood City, just because to add awareness because it's Filipino. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we have to have that.
Because as much as a Filipino, because if you're living in a community where there's a lot of Filipinos, we take that for granted. When you look at the way he put together the website, like he even gives you a history of banana ketchup in kare kare. I think we don't even know that. I don't even know the story of banana ketchup or Jufran or any of those places. And then he explains it because his focus is that he loves his. I think he loves his community, his heritage, but he has the focus of a non-Filipino. So he wants to educate them, and he's doing that with this stuff. Like when you click on view details of what is a brief history of a banana ketchup, who does that? Like takes the time to tell you the story and makes it so that if it's a non-Filipino watching it, they're like sort of fascinated by it. And look at that, he's using it on a French fry. See that, May?
Yeah, tastes really good.
Okay, look at that.
Look
Even
like,
on
yeah,
chicken, maybe Jolly
yeah,
Bee chicken there. I don't know.
yeah.
You see-
I'll try it later.
yeah, it's just look at that. He's just pouring it all over that, and that's not the banana ketchup that we're all used to. But the ingredients is definitely there, and I love it. Okay, um, I guess that ends pretty much our show, May. And I wanted to just go ahead and thank you for being here and always sort of
Thank you for
supporting.
including me last minute in the show.
Well, because when you posted it, I go, "Eh, I want him to know that we're trying to be supportive of his brand. And I know you like people that are savvy business owners and actually trying to provide value. So when you posted that you bought it, I go, I gotta ask May. I gotta ask May to be on the show. And at least Jay will know that we're trying to create some sort of support. And I think he's gonna need that moving forward. And that's why I reached out to him. And by the way, I want to thank publicly Brad Baldia. He's a good friend of mine who's become like a supporter of everything that we're doing in terms of Philippine-made products. Right now, we're putting together more groups, more discussions, more networking of Philippine businesses and U.S. businesses. Especially, I started something recently on LinkedIn, and this is what I like doing, and May has always been there with me and trying to do that. So now what May's doing is creating. Well, we're gonna do a seminar or a webinar soon where we're gonna try to help more Philippine manufacturers get approved or be registered with the US FDA. May let's end it with you telling them about that, just in case we have some Filipino manufacturers watching us right now.
We're actually scheduled to have another webinar with the Department of Trade and Industry Region 3 um this middle of June. So we will keep them posted with regards to that schedule. It's for the awareness of Filipino food manufacturers of how they can register with the US FDA through us, through Emporium and Global Business Impact.
Yep. And I hope that you keep supporting Emporium, May, and everybody that's watched us in the past, to keep on supporting what we're doing, especially if you want to see more Filipino brands here. But I really want the market research. This is market research. What we just did, right? This is valuable. The fact that I wasn't interviewing him to say, "Oh my gosh, your food is amazing," and that's what May is just doing right now. I wanted him to tell you, if you're a Philippine manufacturer, that's what it's gonna take, or at least some of it. Okay, because I'm not telling you that he's written the complete authority on how to do that. Oh, let's just say this. I admire the guy because he's reached that level of promoting a product, and not just any product, but the culture. And he's done that. So we should all be proud as Filipino Americans and say, yeah, that's amazing. He did it. And continue to maybe leverage what he's done and create something for other brands. I mean, it's not just for food. At the end of the day, there's a lot of amazing Filipinos out there that are making headways, not only in the food industry, but in the arts, in the sports, and political. So if you're thinking about creating Filipino businesses, or anything that's inspired by that, this is the great time, because a lot of people are getting more curious, and we need to continue to support people that are bringing that attention to the culture. And again, it's not about being nationalistic. I'm very proud, even though I've lived here for most of my life. The reality is the Philippines has never left me. So we need to continue to do that, create something for the Philippines, and uplifting the brand as a country, and also being able to just create livelihoods there. Right, right, May?
Yes, of
All right.
course.
With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the show here, and I will go ahead and use the music again. So that was fun, though, right? I mean, the fact that we did the little happy dance, and he was actually cool about that.
Yes, yes.
So now I can go on TikTok now and say Jake
And that's my
Deleon.
first happy dance, Ferdinand. So with you. But every time I watch Flexing Philippines of Emporium, I join you with the happy dance.
Yeah, because it's just cool. Like, you're just moving right along. Because at the end of the day, we're all stressed out, right? And sometimes you just need to do the happy dance.
Yes.
So I'm gonna end this show by showing the quote from Simon Sinek. Basically, just get started. If you have a dream, dream big, start small. But the important thing is you just got to start. So I'm gonna end the show with the music of the happy dance, as well as Simon Sinek's what do you call it, quote. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the music on now, May. Yeah, oh yeah. All right, I'm gonna go put it back. Thanks, May.